And we talk over. Brooks County does. To ourselves, we do. But I do not like when another team is going to disrespect Brooks County at Brooks County. Like we're a 4-6 football team. I can't remember the last time Brooks County was 4-6. So I'm not going to let, hey, if you don't fight tonight, I'll fight for you. I want to see them. I want to see them after some wood get laid to their tail. Sure. I want to see them after some wood from South Georgia gets laid to their tail. Sure. I want to see them when they really feel what that hammer feels like. Mm-hmm. Ain't no hammers in North Georgia. Ain't no football players up there like they are here. Mm-hmm. And you don't come into our place and act like that. Nobody does. If you can't fight for me tonight, I'll fight for you. You play as a team, you tackle as a team, you run as a team, you block as a team. And you defend BC3 and Brooks County with all your heart. Once again, I still say that you have not played till your guts feel like they're about to come out. I need it tonight. I need it tonight.
Here with Coach Freeman and my little brother Rooster, EJ Shipman. Coach, let's dive into how EJ got the name Rooster. We'll start there.
Here we go.
I love Westerns. Rooster Curlbert, off of one of the Westerns. John Wayne played him. And that dude was tough as nails. He was tough as nails. He was a tough as nails guy. He called it like he saw it, and he could back up whatever he said. And he had a big heart. Didn't really show it, but he had a big heart. And I'm big on giving kids nicknames, especially the ones that I really take to. And Rooster, he just fit that bill, the gunslinger. He was a very thin, wiry, long defensive end. Didn't look like he should be playing defensive end, but he could get the job done. He was a gunslinger in my book. I mean, he was a guy that would say, look, you got 10 paces. You better fire because I'm going to fire. And doggone, when that ball snapped, he was firing on all cylinders. So I thought that name fitted him well, and to this day, I still call him Rooster.
You know, it's funny because my mama wasn't a big fan of that name at first.
No, she wasn't. I knew she wasn't.
Until you explained to her the thought process behind the name and why he got the name. Then she understood. But at first she was like, I don't know, why you call her Rooster? I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's the story behind Rooster. But, Coach, we're glad to have you on the podcast today. We did one last week. It was a great success, and I couldn't think of a better guy to have on for this week. We had a lot of rave reviews from people out on Facebook and a lot of DMs and different things like that. So I said, man, I got to hit up Coach Freeman, see if he'd do the podcast. Coach Freeman got right back with me, and here we are today.
Of course, man. I've seen you guys grow, man. So it's just an honor, you guys. Your dad has done a great job with you. Your mom and dad have done a great job. So I've watched you guys grow up from coming here in 2008 and spending time with you and training you guys and just fellowshipping with you, y'all, and having Bible study with your pops and working with Genesis. So we've all grown up together, really.
That's right. Absolutely.
I feel like I'm an extended family. I feel like I'm really a blood relative. So before we leave, we're going to cut each other and get some blood, do the old Indian method. But I feel like I'm part of the family.
Absolutely, Coach.
Man, it's just an honor.
Coach, we love you, man. Thank you for everything that you've done for us up to this point. I know for me personally, you're my personal trainer, and we came in here and put in some work, man. We did. I just, matter of fact, on the way here, actually before I got EJ, I was watching that workout video that me and Rob did, and at the end, I was just dead. I was on the ground, and Rob was still working. I was like, man, that's the type of work we put in, though.
To this day, man, I let my guys watch, and I said, you guys can't work like this. I said, this dude didn't play football for me, but this dude one of the hardest working cats I've ever seen in my life, and I loved every minute of you coming in here, getting that work in, and everything was an example that I can show my guys. Look at him. He's doing everything the right way. And that's what it's all about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We definitely put that work in. So, Coach, let's start from the beginning. I like to start from the beginning with all my guests. Tell us about your upbringing. You know, where you were born, where you were raised. Tell us about. Well, let's go into the depths of the life of Coach Freeman.
All right, Maurice Freeman, born and raised in Quitman, Georgia. Nankin, as a matter of fact, Nankin, Georgia. I was born 9:25 p.m., November the 30th, 1964. Brooks County student. Graduated from Brooks County High School. 5 sisters, my mom, my grandmother. No brothers. So that is how I grew up with my mom. And my Uncle Dudley was the dude that came into the family after my mother's brother. Mm-hmm. He spent some time with me, and that was the man in my family that I admired up until I started playing sports. I played a little bit of Little League football, got bit by a dog, stitches in the leg, so that kind of ended that. My mom really wasn't crazy about football anyway, so she really didn't want me to play. Clay Lee Phillips, which is my team chaplain, he came out, I think I was 9th grade going to 10th grade shooting basketball, thought I was a basketball player, could dunk and all that stuff. Couldn't shoot very well, but could jump. And so I thought I was a basketball player. Came in the gym from college one day, I think he was in college, and he says, "Why aren't you out there spring practice?" I said, "My mom don't let me play football, I'm a basketball player." He goes, you're a football player. And I said, "Hey man, my mom said no." He said, "So what you gonna do? You either gonna come out here with me, or we're gonna have to scrap right now." We're about the same size in height. But Clay was about, at that time, he looked to be about 6'3", about 250, and I was 6'3", about 170. Wow. So I was like, you know what, this dude sounds serious. Mm-hmm. I didn't know he was a preacher at that time. I just knew he looked crazy, and he was huge. So I said, well, I'll go out there today, and he won't be back, so no big deal. So I went out and watched some practice, and bragged, man, I could do that. But really knowing that my mom wasn't going to let me play, and they took me home. Him and Coach Milligan talked to her, and she finally allowed me to play. So I got into football. I was always playing basketball a little bit, and I got into track. So I became a decent athlete here at Brooks, and that really helped me because it gave me a lot more discipline. Wasn't a bad kid at all. Did what my mom said, did what my grandmother said, but just didn't deal with people much because went to school, went home, did your chores. That was about it. Got into sports and started to learn people and learn how to deal with people and enjoy sports, and found out that football could take me somewhere. I had some basketball offers. Albany State offered me, and Fort Valley offered me in basketball. But Hilda Calloway, which I call her my guidance counselor. Hilda, I met her in the 11th grade. I was doing the CETA program. Those of you that have money, like y'all had money, y'all wouldn't know anything about the CETA program. It was for us poor kids. We didn't have no money, brother. So they would give you jobs, work 15 hours a week. Mm-hmm. So I worked in the cafeteria, assisting Hilda with keeping the kids in line and clicking the number of students that came through, and she would always tell me what to do. And these are her words to me as a senior in high school. Maurice, what are you going to do? I don't know. I think I'm going to the military. I want to buy my mama a house. What about college? Nobody's talked to me about college. My coaches have said a few words to me about it, but nothing in detail. I don't know. Well, I heard that you were pretty decent in football. Have you taken the ACT test or SAT? No, I've not taken that test. When are you going to take it? Got no plans on taking it. I don't know anything really much about it. Well, I'll pay for it. Cost $15 at the time. Mm-hmm. So she paid for it. I took the test. I have no idea what I made on that test. I really don't. Took the test. Obviously, I passed it. Mm-hmm. I had some partial scholarship offers from Georgia and Florida State. And I had some full scholarship offers from Florida A&M.
What position were you playing at the time, Coach?
At the time, I was playing defensive end, outside linebacker, kicker, punter, and I also played running back. Whew. Man, at Brooks, Coach Milligan would let you play whatever you thought you could play. And it turns out I could play them all. Mm-hmm. And there were games where if Gene C wasn't at running back, I was at running back, or Mike C. So I got a chance to play a little fullback, a little tailback. And I think I got molly-whopped. And it was in spring of my senior year, I got molly-whopped and broke my collarbone. Mm-hmm. So a guy said, look, man, you're a little too long to play running back. You better switch positions and stick to tight end and defensive end, outside backer. So that is what I did. But Hilda said, Maurice, you passed the test, what are you going to do? I said, well, Georgia has offered me a partial, so I'm going to Georgia. And I told my mom, and Mom said, no, you're not. She said, where are we going to get the rest of the money, son? Mm. I don't know. We'll get it somewhere. I don't know. So I told Hilda, she said, you better listen to your mom. You go up there, and then you end up back home because you're broke. and your mom didn't have any money to do that, so that's not fair. I said, well, what am I going to do? She says, you go to Florida A&M. You accept that scholarship. You go to Florida A&M, and you major in physical education, and you pledge Phi Beta Sigma, and then when you graduate, you find your way back to Brooks as the head coach, and after you win a state title at Brooks, then you can leave and go anywhere you want. And I followed it to a T.
Wow.
That's all I knew, so I followed her. I did exactly what she said to.
So when did so you go to FAMU, you end up going to FAMU.
Yep.
When did you decide to make the transition from player to coach?
When I found out there were so many great players in the nation, and that I wasn't the greatest football player in the world, and that I wasn't going to be a first-round draft choice out of Florida A&M to the NFL, I figured I better have a backup plan. By then, I was smart enough to understand a backup plan, so I decided that at that time, the outside linebacker coach and I, Coach Kravitz, was a white fella, as a matter of fact, but he took up so much time with me. Him and Tyrone McGriff and Coach Bogan, they took up so much time with me that I really started to like them. And I kind of hang around Coach Kravitz a lot and started to learn more about every position on defense. And then he suggested that I go and learn everything I could about offense. And he said, you know what, you'll make a pretty good coach. And I said, well, my guidance counselor in high school told me that.
Wow.
And I said, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a coach. I ain't worrying about money. You'll never get rich as a head coach. I heard that from Coach Hubbard. He said, man, you'll never get rich, but you will be wealthy. And you will always have young people that you will always be able to say, I taught them, I've changed an entire generation. So I took that to heart. And I had friends as I played football at Florida A&M that would always listen to me and say, you know what, you make a good coach. So my teammates were telling me the same thing. And so I just decided that was the route I was going to take, and I was looking for something that was going to make me happy, that I could be happy my entire life. You got to work at least 30 years. So I said, what can I do for at least 30 years that's going to make me happy? And this is year number 33, and I'm still tickled.
Wow. So it's about finding that passion, finding that purpose, keeping you going.
I found it.
Things like that. So we gotta all look in the mirror. Either you look in the mirror, or this is what you're gonna look like at the end of this game. It is your choice, everybody. Two things gonna happen. You're gonna listen to your coaches, and we're gonna come out of this thing on top. Or you're gonna do what you did in the first half, and this is it. Now look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. It don't lie. That mirror don't lie. So don't you blame nobody else in here. You look in the mirror and you look at yourself and say, self, what am I doing wrong? Don't worry about the next man beside. What am I doing wrong? That's everybody in here. What am I doing wrong? You correct that, don't worry about the guy beside you. I did not ask my players to coach. I asked my players to play. Right or wrong. Right. So look in the mirror. You look in the mirror and we'll end this game victorious. But now if you keep pointing fingers, we got trouble.